David always found a quiet satisfaction in a suburban life. His small, meticulously kept home in the Oakwood subdivision was his sanctuary. Mornings were for coffee on the porch, and weekends were for tending his small garden. This predictable peace was, however, consistently disturbed by a single, jarring event each trash day. His bin would be knocked over, spilling its contents onto the pristine lawn he worked so hard to maintain. At first, he dismissed it as an accident, a careless driver or a strong gust of wind. But after it happened 3 weeks in a row, he noticed a pattern. The culprit was none other than Carol, the self-appointed neighborhood watch and head of the HOA, whom many residents quietly referred to as HOA Karen. She would adjust his bin with a deliberate nudge of her car bumper every Tuesday morning, always under guise of being too close to the street. Determined to resolve the issue amicably, David decided to approach Carol. He caught her during her morning patrol, a brisk walk around the neighborhood where she scrutinized everyone's lawn for violations. With a friendly smile, he explained the issue. "Hi, Carol. I was hoping to ask if you could be a bit more careful on Tuesdays. My trash can keeps getting knocked over right after you pass by." Carol's expression soured instantly. She denied it outright, suggesting it was probably irresponsible teenagers or the wind, and then proceeded to lecture him about the precise HOA-mandated placement of trash receptacles. The conversation ended with her threatening to fine him if his bin was even an inch out of compliance. David walked away not with a resolution, but with the disheartening realization that her actions were entirely intentional. Frustrated, David turned to the very body Carol represented, the Homeowners Association. He drafted a polite but firm email, complete with photos of his overturned bin, and even a discreet video from his doorbell camera showing Carol's car bumping into it. He hoped the evidence would be undeniable and that the HOA board would intervene. The response he received a week later was a generic, bureaucratic brush-off. It stated they had spoken with the party involved and considered the matter resolved. The following Tuesday, as if to mock his efforts, David found his trash can not just knocked over, but with its lid missing and garbage strewn even further across his yard. He felt utterly powerless, targeted by a woman who wielded the HOA's authority as her personal weapon. The feeling of helplessness quickly hardened into a quiet resolve. If the official channels wouldn't help, David would have to devise his own solution. He wasn't a confrontational man, but he was creative. The answer wasn't retaliation in kind. It had to be something smarter, something that would solve the problem permanently without stooping to her level. He spent hours in his garage, sketching and planning. The goal was simple: to create a trash can system that Carol couldn't knock over, one that would deliver a consequence for her actions without causing actual harm. An idea sparked, a design that was less a container and more of a clever, automated defense mechanism she would never anticipate. Under the cover of darkness, David put his plan into action. He dug a small, precise hole where his trash can usually stood. Working diligently, he installed a heavy-duty, spring-loaded metal base, flush with the ground. His new, reinforced trash can now had a locking mechanism on its bottom that clicked securely into this base. It looked perfectly normal, but it was now immovable to a casual car bump. More importantly, he engineered a secondary, hidden feature. Connected to a pressure sensor, the system was designed to react to a significant, deliberate impact. This was the part Carol wouldn't see coming. He covered his work carefully, leaving no trace. The trap was set. The next Tuesday morning, David watched from his window, coffee in hand, a knot of anticipation in his stomach. Carol's car rounded the corner right on schedule. She slowed, aimed, and gave the trash can her signature bump. But this time, the can didn't budge. Confused, she backed up and hit again harder. The moment her bumper made significant contact, the system activated. Two high-powered, carefully aimed sprinklers, which David had buried in the grass on either side of the can, erupted with force, drenching the driver's side of her car and her open window in a torrent of water. A loud, pre-recorded message blared from a hidden speaker. Property violation detected. Please respect your neighbors. A soaked and sputtering Carol sat stunned in her car for a full minute before speeding off, not even bothering to finish her patrol. The neighborhood buzzed with whispers as doorbell cameras caught the entire comical event. David never received another complaint, nor did his trash can ever get knocked over again. While the HOA sent him a vague letter about unapproved landscape modifications, they had no ground to act, especially after several other neighbors, emboldened by his actions, came forward with their own stories about Carol's behavior. David had not only protected his property, he had restored his peace. His mornings were once again his own, a quiet satisfaction returning to his corner of the suburban world.